Hello and welcome here everyone to our Wednesday or Tuesday matchups. I know what date we are on right now as we are here with the Indiana Esports Network. Very much excited to be here. We are very welcome and happy to go ahead and be brought to you by, of course, Zotac, Landfest, as well as LOS Portal. More on them later, but today we are here for some SSBU Cruise action as we are headed into the playoffs here today. Quarterfinals is right upon us, and I'm excited to see which teams make it on, and unfortunately, which teams will fall away. My name is Orbital. With me is Cherry J, and we will be your casters for this evening. Cherry, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I personally am really excited for this matchup in particular because this is going to be our number 4 team in that Hobart Middle School varsity, I believe, is coming in at that 4 seed. And I'm a liar. I had a 50-50 chance and I got it wrong. It's Hobart Varsity's SSBU Middle School coming in at that little bit of the underdog. Not too much, though, as the 5 seed. And it's going to be the side of Clark Pleasant Middle School Smash as that number 4 side. So realistically speaking, if we go based off of that likelihood, I think we all got to imagine Clark Pleasant Middle School Smash can take this away. But I think that in a 4 versus 5, it's going to be close and anyone can take it in the end.
I think that's the best part. I mean, you take a look at such a middle of the pack ground that you do really have to be kind of interested to see how they play things out and how well they're going to play as well. When it comes to crew battles, it does matter about the opening, but also how you position a lot of your players. And we have gotten information on the players themselves. So Hobart Middle School Varsity, they're running Liam, Gavin, Emmett, as well as Alex. Liam running the Joker, Gavin running the Incineroar, Emmett running the Inkling, and then Alex running the Pyramithra, which is a fairly diverse roster. I mean, you have a lot of great utility in there, you have a lot of great floaters as well, but you suddenly have the Incineroar, which is just a straight up heavy in the tank.
Yeah, I really like that idea of the Incineroar, especially when you really think about it. I don't know how active you've been in middle school, high school level esports, but dude, there are so many schools that will play with lag, and it is absurd with how good an Incineroar can be with lag. I mean, I personally think that alone could really carry some of these teams. And I definitely think picks like that are, some would say cheesy, can really help you pull away victories. And I think that might be why that team is so high up in the bracket, because realistically speaking, this match, it's going to be a big one for you because you're going to need to win this match and then go up against the number 1 seed right after this. So picks like that Incineroar are going to be really helpful.
It's a terrifying thought, making sure to have Gavin in a really good position to do so. On the other side, we got Clark Pleasant, as you were mentioning before, this middle school roster. They're running Nathaniel, Jackson, as well as Dylan, and then Matthew, with only the overlap being that Pyramithra, which does make sense. I think Pyramithra covers a lot of bases in there. You go ahead and say, like, hey, there's a little bit of a mix and toss, but yeah, it'll be a nice little test in there. I think I lagged out a little bit, but I'll be interested to see exactly what they run because they have the Yoshi, the Rob, the Pyramithra, and Pikachu. So a plethora of characters to choose from as well.
Yeah, I'm liking the idea of the Yoshi too, because Yoshi is just one of those picks that can be so strong, especially because that is, I believe, the order of their strength of players, not what they're going to be pushing out. Maybe both of them. I mean, I think that Yoshi, a good Yoshi player, can be absolutely dominant, and I'm really excited to see if we can get that Joker versus Yoshi match start us off. That is the list that was given, so maybe that's going to be the case. Obviously, I don't know. I mean, maybe even like switch characters. I don't know if they're allowed to switch characters, but if so, that would be cool to really pick a character that can like kind of just counter what would be the counter to what you said you were going to pull out, or do some crazy third level brain move like that.
Well, I think that's something that they can look forward to in sets 2 and 3. Keep that in mind, that the only time they are allowed to swap really is whenever they see one of those other characters come out here, and the only time they can swap off their preferred character is in the next game. That is the thing to think about. If you pick a character in the game, you're already running that for the rest of the series as long as you stay in there, or at least the rest of that run particularly. So that'll be really interesting to check out. But as you said, this is going to be a big test depending on where you decide to put that Yoshi, if they're the opener or not. Personally, I would put the Pyramithra in there. I think the Pyramithra, again, being able to swap between the two, you can get a good mix, and personally I would like to see a Pyramithra mirror, because that would be really fun to see. In my opinion, just seeing who comes out on top, and if you're wanting to send Alex and Dylan into that mix, they could do pretty dang well. I think you could go ahead and open up with a really nice turn and leave some of your more utility heavy picks to the wayside. As we do go ahead and get underway though in game number 1, we are going to have the Joker and the Yoshi to start things off.
Yeah, I know personally, I prefer the Joker into the Yoshi. I think that it's definitely going to be at least a little bit favorable in this matchup, but obviously at the middle school level, it's going to definitely not matter as much when it comes down to these matchups in these 1v1s. I don't know, but this is really when it comes what it comes down to. Like, if you can win with 3 stocks, put your team at that big advantage, you're going to be extremely happy. And I can just get that mental up, which a lot of players are really going to look for. But oh no, some really good damage already going to be coming up from both sides, and building up the bar for the Joker is definitely going to be good. But the grab really does kind of at least limit some pressure. We've been seeing this time so far this match, but right now it's just seeming like Mr. Gray is kind of just keeping up as much as they can.
I think for right now, it's just, you know, that comfortability level. Hey, how test out the waters. How good is this Joker? What are they going to try and play for? And I love the ground and pounds right now that Yoshi just trying to use that spacing utility and using that kind of free set of damage in there, going ahead with the down air, making sure that you get some extra tags and trying to force that Joker into really rough positions. But with the Joker out, you go ahead and send up and say, hey, this is all I want to use. Of course, it's burning out very quickly. And that actually worries me right now. You didn't get as much value out of that bar as you would have liked. So in consideration, I mean, Nathaniel is pretty happy about that set and gets almost a stock in favor.
Oh yeah, for sure. A little bit of an not the greatest play there, because obviously those eggs can be so good when it comes to ledge guarding, but instead they're just gonna let them get back onto the platform. But as they say, they're gonna shut me up for sure. Oh no, Mr. Gray, unfortunately not aware of the platform.
That hurts, especially since you are up and doing so well in that respect. Granted, one hit could turn it around, which is going to be great. However, is that one hit going to be enough? Yes, it is. You're back at net 0. You immediately eat about 17. Great run and dash in coming out of Liam. But Liam, you need to do a little bit more than that. These trades back and forth, you have to recognize that you kind of gave up the last stock for free. You don't want to let that happen again.
Yeah, right now, both players at 2-2. It's not too dominant in one way or the other, which is kind of how you love to see these games go. Good damage is going to come out from the side of Hobart, but right now, Liam, they're just going to get that combo off, and now with the charge online, pistol to shoot him up hit as well, and it's some good damage, 113%, and oh my gosh, Nathaniel, they were able to really maintain their distance away from the last bar getting maximized, but this time it's just going to be completely dominant from Liam, just completely shutting him down, but not for long actually, but oh, 150% might just be the seal.
I think they're just kind of playing for the extra time, maybe trying to make it work. Great grab into the toss, and this Hobart is going to be doing quite well. Liam saying, let's go ahead and get a Hobart varsity SSBU middle school win on the board. Let's go ahead and run things up as quickly as possible. That's going to be an up smash coming out of the Yoshi, and a chase into the air is not going to work. So both are sitting well within stock threat percentage. Both swinging for the fences, but a nice run and dash does lean into the Joke as they go ahead and get a second meter.
Oh, 111% too. If you can secure this last stock while at this high percentage, that'll be extremely good for Liam, but I don't think they're going to be able to do it realistically. 130% is a little bit too much, but the grab does say otherwise, showing some signs that they could potentially get it done. Not just yet, though. Still only capping that 36, while obviously they do still have a stock remaining, so they can lean back on that if they do need.
Right now, you just got to kind of sit there and go, okay, take our looks where we got them. Right now, for Hobart, you are saying, Joker, just hang on to the last 2. If you can get through, if you can take out this Yoshi's 3rd stock, you'll be up 2 stocks in the matter, and that's going to be even better. But a great toss with that grab easily makes it happen, but a nice block and shield. No, he feels bad getting rebutted like that one. So right now, this is going to be a little bit more burn. 104 on that percentage. And this is a chase. One hit can do it all. Right now, great reflection, bringing it back. Another little fire. This is going to be the stock. No, you chase in the air once again. A little bit of a fast fall coming in here. And the Joker wants a bit more. Liam trying to chase, gets a grab, hoping to punch out once more. But no, extra meter to play with, both running for that kind of reactive play. There's the grab. Do you get the toss? Is not the finish that you wanted.
Still, though, Mr. Gray with only one shot to kill, but that's so unfortunate for Liam there. Not going to be able to secure a 2-stock lead going into game number 2, but 150%, it's all but sealed, and a nail in the coffin needs to come out soon here, or else there's potential for this Yoshi to start comboing and get the win back, already gaining over 50%, but there's going to be the bar completely brought back into play, 167%, and it keeps on rising. But still, I mean, it's holding on by a sliver, but that sliver is really good. And Nathaniel, they're just going to be able to maintain themselves in this game. Still, will we be seeing 200 come out? Yes, we will.
I think that's also the dangerous part. If you can't find a confirm on the stock, you leave yourself wide open. And that's the reversal coming out for Nathaniel on the Yoshi, taking the victory for CPMS.
Yeah, already really putting in the work there, despite being down and out. It's going to be the side of Clark Pleasant Middle School to take the win coming into game number 1 here, despite being down so much on that final stock. Hobart could not take the win, and it kind of goes to show why they are that number 4 seed. And maybe we could see them find some changes from Hobart, but right now they still have to worry about taking down this Yoshi, whose survivability has been nuts.
I mean, it's been a little bit of a problem, the fact that you had him in about 200, and honestly, it was such a fantastic moment. And speaking of fantastic moments, we want to give a big shout out to Zotac. Everyone, we want to give a big, huge shout out to Zotac Gaming for powering today's stream. Thanks to their incredible support, we're able to bring this broadcast to everyone, helping to showcase the amazing talent in Scholastic Esports. You can show your appreciation for Zotac Gaming by giving them a shout out on social media, and when you do so, make sure to go ahead and tag them with hashtag powered by Zotac or hashtag Zotac USA. That is ZOTAC, or you can go ahead and join the community on Discord just as well. Let's get into the mix as we go ahead and set things up, as we do see the likes of the Incineroar coming out next.
Incineroar, definitely an interesting pick to go in. I mean, I'm liking it. I don't hate it at all. Let's see whether or not they're going to be able to find that value you would want. The commanding grabs are strong, but over the ledge it gets a little bit weaker. Unfortunately, they don't seem to be able to capitalize off of it just yet, but let's see if they can bring themselves a great kick to really knock things off, and they're not going to let go just yet. Unfortunately, the egg's going to be a little bit weak on the punch, and okay, a good grab. Unfortunately, not going to be able to collect too much on it, and Mr. Gray, I mean, this side of Hobart has just been looking just not too amazing right now, but it seems like they've kind of come back despite their first loss on the Joker. They've really started dominating in game number 2.
Well, for right now, that's gonna be it, and that is the swing that you like to see. As you saw, well done to the side of you know, you come out here with a little extra coming out from, I believe it was Gavin there on the Incineroars. So 2 new players and a second coming up here as Nathaniel is gone. They tried their best, but they do give a little bit of countering coming out for Clark Pleasant.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a strong start there. Hobart, Varsity, SSBU going to be evening it up at 9 stocks apiece. So realistically, I think that they've definitely come back, and they're going to be confident now that this Incineroar has gotten to a point where they have that little bit of experience too. They're comfortable on their character, they're comfortable on their role. Realistically speaking here, we're going to be seeing Rob, come out as our next, and I want to get your opinion here. Do you think that that increase in the ranged attacks is going to potentially cause some problems, or do we think that this Incineroar should be able to just kind of dominate the battlefield once more?
It's really, really up to the Incineroar themselves, I think, and how they want to play. So far, they do look fairly aggressive, so they can get over, I think, some of those more annoyances. But the Rob here, this Rob that we've seen play before can get very testy. We've seen Robs basically cover both the aerials as well as just ground game with the top, with the lasers. It can be overwhelming, so it really depends on how each side plays. As you mentioned, it is going to be the likes of that Rob Jackson coming out here to try and fight them off, and going straight back here to, of course, the good old town and city. And you wonder, Jackson, looking for a little bit of a touch, even though this isn't really finished land yet, you're still looking for the early damage, and that's a great grab.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's kind of just been really good work here from Gavin to just close this space and make sure they have that dominant, in-your-face aggression, but it's not really working out the best for them, as we're seeing some really good pushback from Jackson. As you said, they're getting in the damage, poking and prodding, but right now these command grabs have been really good. Shields are looking pretty fantastic as well, but right now it seems as if Gavin kind of has just regained themselves, and their composure is looking phenomenal.
I think what they're trying to do is really just find that free little pick. You're trying to bait the Incineroar into really awkward movements, but Incineroar gets a great grab and another toss, and now the Rob, who is seen as one of the heavy characters in the game, surprisingly, at least when you take a look at that frame, it's going to be difficult. 127 now as the counter goes up. The Incineroar also eating a lot of damage. What an up air, though, to keep that Incineroar in a really bad spot, but the up B does work. And now a side smash to take it. That will be Gavin to swing stock one.
Oh, Gavin's doing great, but 127%, you really got to start pushing this forward. Commanding grab's going to come out, not going to be able to capitalize, but it's still going to be this Rob going in for more. Unfortunately, Jackson's still not able to get the good hits in, but that's going to be it. 141, let's see if they can close out, put the nail in the coffin, but as of now, it seems like they're still just not really committing on anything too aggressively, which I do have to commend them for, since when you play so aggressive, it really does open yourselves out for those counterattacks, especially from something like the Incineroar, and we're seeing it right here. Mr. Jackson doing something that really is going to leave them open to vulnerability, and it's great gameplay coming in from their opponent here with, oh my gosh, this Incineroar just instantly turning the table, and okay, 105% already found out.
I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. We are seeing that mess of a stock, and we mentioned before, you said it, Sherry, talking about the Incineroar and how much damage it can output, and you can see just the hard swings, doesn't care about the frames, doesn't matter about the length. That's another one, as right now Gavin might be what they need to step up. Hobart saying, please do the work here, the wrestler themselves.
Oh my gosh, 169%. It's going to keep increasing. Thankfully, we're not going to be seeing a 3 stock, which would be absolutely tragic. It's going to be the Jackson to show some and take a stock off of Gavin, which, you know, it's pretty good. They're able to really even it out. Well, not just yet, but still, they're looking good. They're able to get some good hits in, swinging their arms, going to be going for some ranged attacks as well. And, you know, they're looking strong. They're looking like a player who could potentially turn this tide and go from 3 stocks to 0 on their opponent.
Maybe we can see a great little down here, trying to get a little bit of a cheat. The dash doing work to kind of punch the Rob away. So far, everyone is getting real close to that damage threshold. Once again, side B giving a lot of room for the Rob. Chase not going to land, and now it's off the stage for the Rob. You're going to go high, angle down, which is the right call in my opinion. But that read, the roll and kick, leaving the Rob to just pretty much one hit. We've seen stocks be taken with much less. Is it going to happen? What a chase coming out, though. This is going to be big. Jackson might have a turn, and you force him far enough away from the stage, and all of a sudden, Gavin is in the wrong spot, but that's the up smash, and that will be Gavin to go ahead and take this turn.
You know, I gotta commend Jackson, though. They were able to take that second stock away from their opponent of Jackson, and it really just looked strong. I mean, Jackson, they didn't really play the greatest, especially at the start, but once they kind of found their groove, they took it in great fashion and were able to kind of just take the rest of the Incineroar's lives off. And obviously one player has to win, so I think for Jackson, they're going to be really happy that Gavin wasn't able to take that with 2 stocks remaining. Instead, we're going to be going on to our third player, who is Dylan, going to be matching up against Gavin, who this is going to be the Pyramithra player of Clark Pleasant Middle School. So, I mean, I think that realistically speaking, if you can win this as the Incineroar, force out the Pikachu to be the finalist, there's a good chance that Hobart Middle School Varsity could just get the upset win and move on to the semifinals.
I think that's something that they're going to be playing for either way. And as you said, the Pyramithra coming out here. I like the call that you're making here. So are we going to see the Incineroar take yet another stock? If they can, that'll be the first time we do get to see a little bit of a change up. I think we haven't really seen any real difference come about for a while. So see if that does bring about any influence here. Stocks are reset. We are ready to go. Both players go ahead and call their time. Chase forward into the grab, but you can't complete that swing, and that's the second time. So getting to grab speaks a lot to what Gavin wants to do, but you're not able to really connect the lariat, and it doesn't feel good whenever that happens.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a really strong gameplay coming out from Dylan here to start us off. A little bit of damage to be taken aback. And right now, it's the red Pyramithra looking to get that fire off. So I like this idea from them to really go for it. I think they could have waited a little bit longer before pulling it out, since it's pretty good for those finishers. But when it comes down to, if you want to play a little bit more fast and up close, then it could be better to go with that other opposite side of the coin. But right now, they're just going to be able to get that early damage in, bring their opponent to 99%, but instantly matched with the almost exact same.
Let's see what they can play out here. Great little spiraling sword, and that's the damage that you're really reaping here. Very, very nice job. And the Pyramithra just saying, this is all ours. Great kick, though, as that heavy damage is good. Is that the launch? It is! What a chance happening, Gavin says. What's up? And immediately eats the stock back, but you know what? You took an extra stock off, which now puts the likes of Hobart Varsity into a stock lead.
Hobart Varsity, they've absolutely done it, but right now it's still I believe that makes it even. I believe that would be the case, but despite that one stock, it's gonna be 2 to 3 if you have a good player coming up, because I do believe, I'm just gonna say, I think that at this point it's not based off of skill which these players are all playing at. I think that they're just put in at a random order because everyone here has been looking pretty good. So realistically, I think that there's a good chance that Hobart Varsity, they might have somebody up their sleeve that could be able to just kind of dominate the battlefield and take it with style. So right now, CPMS, they have to kind of keep their, despite the fact that, you know, they are looking good. They do have 2 stocks remaining on this last player. So, or not last player, second last player. So they have 5 stocks remaining against Hobart Varsity 6. Realistically, if they can win this, I don't know. I'm thinking they can take it home, but they have to start here. If they lose this down and their opponent still has 2 stocks, I think that's going to be a little bit too much of a hill to climb. But we'll see. What do you think?
I just think they're going to play their hearts out here because that's all they need to do. Right now, we are looking at Hobart. Are they going to send that Inkling out there? That would be their 3rd. However, remember, they can kind of shift things around if they so wish. If they want to match with the Pyramithra itself, you could. But that would shake up the roster settings that they already have set. So we'll see what they decide to do here. It looks like they are deciding on a stage to go to. And for me, I'm kind of looking at CPMS saying, okay, you're down in stock, not the worst thing in the world. And I like how quickly Dylan was ready to move in those situations. It's the first time it felt like someone was actively moving around the stage so far in the set. So that's what I'm kind of watching for here. Are we going to see that? As looks like they are taking their time trying to really decide how it works out.
Oh, I believe we're going to be seeing an Inkling coming up, and I'm all for it. I love Inkling, and I'm not totally sure how that's going to work at the middle school level, but I think if you're able to pilot that well, that's going to be a big pick to really just kind of overwhelm your opponent and then take some early stocks off. Because as we know, when you're able to just kind of like get them in the paint and get a good hit off with a hammer, it's going to be extremely good damage to just kind of take them off the map and then take a seed off. Let's see if Hobart Varsity, with their 1 stock lead, though, will be able to maintain that in game number 3. Or is player number 3.
Yeah, player number 3, they are sending out. They're down to about 6 stocks here, which isn't the worst right now, but it is about trying to maintain that leverage, right? You want, if at this point, you do want to trade stock for stock. And as you said, it is going to be that Inkling, so they are going to send out that little speed type. And as you mentioned in the middle school level, it could be surprising to see some players really step up to play. Inkling is well known as a very combo heavy character. You can go ahead, get that roller out, you can get the paint out as well. There are so many ways to get your opponent into a combo and not let them go. So see if it plays out here as we're headed right on in Inkling versus Pyramithra.
Yeah, immediately we're going to be seeing some damage coming out. It's going to be this Inkling to take some good damage, forcing him into the paint. 62% found out. Shield to block the damage, but the mitigated damage is not going to be returning. It's still just a complete annihilation. And okay, still not a single hit to come out onto the Inkling. It's just kind of been some good damage all around the table, able to sidestep, looking to get it more, but finally it's going to be that swipe on the fire to get some damage off. But oh, coming back onto the stage, still seeming like this Inkling has a lot more to show us, dodging around, looking to find their way up. Grenade not going to be able to connect, barely missing out on the platform, but the great hit onto them is going to bring him to triple digits.
And I think one of the big parts here is we saw the really fast start coming out of Emmett. Emmett really piloting that Inkling well. But since then has kind of, filtered off here and is still waiting for that final hit. Finally gets that stock, which is nice. But you took about 55% damage. Not the greatest because of how fast you started. So I do want to see if you can start up once again and really kick off this high string combo. And it is going to work with the roller. You try and jump and anticipate, but it doesn't really work. Instead, you eat back and take about 20%. But so far, it has yielded some results. A lot of credit handed over to Emmett right now.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, already put onto one stock. I kind of expected them to have some better players lined up towards the end, just because that lets your lower ranked players to have a chance to play no matter what. But I did not expect them to just kind of be able to take this in such dominant fashion compared to what we have seen. Still 100%. Okay, maybe not as dominant as I thought. We're going to be seeing the side of CPMS shut me up. And oh no, stuck in the paint, not going to be able to connect on to a good hit. But instead, it's still going to be this Pyramithra keeping themselves in the game.
I mean, this is very, very comfortable as well. You go ahead and swing a few more. Yes, the blade comes out here, but the Pyramithra is not enjoying what's going to happen right now. All you need is a good one more touch, feels like, from this Inkling, and you can go ahead and pretty much finish up this round. Yeah, you go ahead, swing hard, launch goes high, but it's not enough. You're on the ground platform. But at 131, the Pyramithra has to play extremely safe if you want to try and take yet another stock. Is it going to happen here? I'm not too sure. We're watching as Inkling. Oh, went too low. You went way too low and thought you could grab the ledge, and unfortunately, SC.
Oh my gosh, despite being so down in one stock against 3, it seems like this side of CPMS has just completely come back. But okay, coming back for a little bit of a comeback on the side of Hobart to just kind of take a win. And now they're going to be coming in as another lead has regained, or I guess the lead has been completely neutralized and actually countered out. So despite that, it's going to be still Hobart completely in the driver's seat. I can't even think. It's been a crazy turn of events with Hobart just kind of winning this out so dominantly.
I think it just kind of hurts as well. I mean, as much as Emmett played really well, losing that stock, you could have been 2 stocks up, and you could have given your team a huge leeway if you were able to gather, trade those 2 stocks for 1 stock on Alex, who was going to be the, or onto Matthew, who's coming out for Clark Pleasant. They are going to be the Pikachu player. I really do wish we could have seen something a little bit more comfortable in that region, but you go ahead and put yourself down on 1 stock. It means you have to come off the rip very, very quickly. So let's see if they can do so. Right now, we're hopping back in once again, back to the same stage as always. We'll see if that yields results for this Inkling.
Yeah, Hobart, they're in the lead. And I wasn't actually aware of how much they were in the lead, but this is going to be the final player. Backs up against the wall for CPMS. Hobart Varsity School. Right now, they have 1 remaining stock on their Inkling, and they need to make the most of it. And it seems like they are taking this opportunity and bringing it by storm into an early lead. Only 20%. but right now they are going to kind of just dominate with the Pikachu in the ground. Not going to be able to capitalize just yet, but they're going to capitalize in a different way with early damage going to be leaded into the middle of this first stock.
I really like how fast they're currently playing. They know they need to keep the Pikachu off the edge, but honestly, that lightning bolt might have done enough. It's going to be a problem here, as I think you're kind of out of paint here. You're getting a little bit low, and it's not a great spot, but a good grab forces the Pikachu up into 80%, and now you get another roller. You almost are able to get the up smash, so you decide against it instead. You kind of play the smart game. You look to dance them out, but it's getting even closer and closer. Another chase forward and another up smash, but you only do a little tick of damage. Once again, not enough fully, but the roller is doing so much work here. Lightning bolt not going to land, looking for that finish in the air, but a hard chase with a hard hat gives the likes of the Pikachu a chance to close it out, and they do. They're able to maintain all 3 stocks.
Insane start coming out in, okay, Pikachu, they're going to be really showing us what they have in store. Despite being down a little bit at the start, they come back and they have dominated. Let's see if Hobart on their final player is going to be able to match and come back against the Pikachu, who has evened it out 3 stocks against 3 stocks. This is a big game. This is really where you got to start winning it all. So I'm really expecting this Pikachu to come out of the gate swinging, but as we know, there's still one more player alive and ready. This is going to be our final player of Alex, switching it up with the Pyramithra, going to be brought back except for the opposite side. So Matthew on the Pikachu, they got to take this in fashion if they want to win this.
I think he can do it. Again, we have seen Pyramithras do well. I mean, I think Dylan played quite exceptionally on their turn, but I mean, we know the mix-ups that can occur, and Pikachu is extremely light. So with the current matchup, Pyramithra are going to be trying to do a lot of work here for Alex. If Alex can pull it off, that will put Hobart into the lead, and that'll make them be a true win. Couple quick lightning thunderbolts to go ahead and start things off very quick with the 23%, but I'm sure it will only increase, as right now it does feel like the Pikachu is having a little bit of a harder time. Yes, you have the damage down, but you're getting forced back every so often.
Oh, look at this. Instantly, this Pikachu is going to be showing off their prowess. Looking for the early damage. Going to be matched up, though. A little bit of some damage coming out from the range. Good hit from the headbutt, but Mr. Gray trying to... Oh, no? Okay, maybe not. All right, 60% for each player, and right now CPMS... I'm liking this. Matthew, they're looking good. Unfortunately, they've lost the lead they gained, so let's see if they're going to be able to bring it back. It's going to be a great hit from the high ground with the lightning, though.
I think it's really all about who gets that first stock, and it is going to be Matthew. Matthew with a beautiful read forces the likes of Alex to play a little bit safer and say, okay, maybe I don't like this, and now throwing down those electric shocks, just trying to create space. You love getting the extra 13 for free.
Oh, look at this. This is some good stuff. Matthew's not giving up their lead whatsoever, keeping this 88%, neutralizing their opponent. But as of now, they're not going to be able to really take the win that they would so desperately want. Switching off of the fire version of Pyramithra, instead going to be going for a little bit more swiftness in your play. And honestly, it doesn't seem to be working out too well for you. Already almost in triple digits, 99%'s being found. And oh, look at that head to body. And it's just going to be this Pikachu to even it out with a stock above them. They're doing some fantastic heavy lifting for the side of CPMS.
And I love that run and grab as well. We're seeing a speed come out of Matthew, the likes that we haven't seen, but a quick answer back does mean that Alex is able to fight. But again, you're at 150, as you rightly called out, Sherry. This is not a spot you want to be in at all. This is where you want to be able to kind of close it out if you're the Pikachu, but for the Pyramithra, you're like, dang, I really got to try and fight back instead. And so far you are. Maybe catching the Pikachu a little bit off sides, but that is a beautiful Thunderbolt, and you finish off that stock in style. One more to go.
We gotta remember, Orbital, we are at the point where the amount of stocks you end with doesn't really matter. All that matters is if you close it out. So Mr. Gray here, or I guess, sorry, Alex here, they're going to really need to bring it back if they want to win, because down 2 stocks to 1, they are backs against the wall completely. And oh no, this Pikachu trying to set up a combo, but right now Matthew's just not going to be able to get it done. Instead, it still seems like there's a little bit of push back, and both sides, they definitely have chances to win this game, but it's really going to come down to who's going to be the one to hit that finishing blow first.
I think for right now, the finishing blow should be all in the hands for the likes of Matthew. Matthew has so much, it doesn't even matter if the stock goes sideways. It's all about this final hit. You got 70% down. All you need is another, 20, 30? And then you can get the Thunderbolt finish as well. So you're getting to chip 90% and counting. And for the other side, if you're looking at Alex, you're like, dang, I have a lot of ground to make up.
Oh, and that's going to do it by the looks of it, but no, it's still going to be the Pyramithra able to get back onto the board, and look at that, it's going to be the nail in the coffin seen right on afterwards, and it's CPMS Smash Bros to take game number 1. And honestly, despite Hobart taking an early lead there, it's definitely surprising seeing them get kind of destroyed after being up 4 stocks to 3, because their players did look pretty good at the start, but at the end, it really came down to this Pikachu who was able to shut down the Inkling, shut down the Pyramithra, and win today's matchup. But we're not done. We still have 1 more game to go minimum, and maybe if we can see some pushback from Hobart Varsity, we could go to a game number 3.
Honestly, we could see it happen, but I think Matthew has put a huge target on their back. They are doing amazing so far on the Pikachu. They're able to run it up about 4 stocks total in a very comfortable fashion. By the way, I want to give them a lot of credit there. They were at anchor. They did exactly what they needed to do, and I don't see it changing any other way. So for the current moment, I am going to be sitting here kind of curious. Right now we are getting a little bit of a swap and a little bit of a shift. And, depending on who they wish to send out first, that might be the call, unless it does have to stay the same order that they had previously, which in that case, I mean, we know what the matchup starting is going to be. It's going to be that Yoshi Joker again.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be likely. I'm looking forward to seeing if Hobart has some different changes they could bring onto the table. Maybe get some character swaps, potentially. It's not going to be that, though. Instead, we're just going to be seeing 180% already being found, and oh, this is replays. Wow, I am dumb. But yeah, we get to see the side of these 2 teams, and especially this Joker and Yoshi, which that matchup was really close, and they both got to really high percentages, kind of putting it really close each and every time. But as of now, I'm really rooting for Hobart to win this, because I think that seeing a match number 3 would be good for both these teams, because it gives them that chance to really work towards getting to playoffs, since as we know, that 1 seed, that's going to be the ones to beat. And realistically, if you're just 2-0ing people and you don't get time to practice, it's not going to be as favorable as if you can go to a match number 3 and really start getting your characters comfort. And it's just something that you like to see if you are either that 4 seed or 5 seed, whoever can win the game.
Of course, and you want as much practice as you can get, whether you're in middle school or in high school or even just a casual player, and to do that, LANFest has you covered. Thanks to LANFest for building healthy communities through gaming. They have 23 chapters across 18 states and over 150 events a year. You can go ahead and find an event near you at lanfest.com. Once again, that is lanfest.com. If you're interested, check them out. Find an event near you and get playing, even if it's not just SPU. Maybe it's Rocket League, maybe it's Valorant, or anything of the sort.
Yeah, for this, I don't know. I want to get your opinion. Do you think that this game is going to be as close as game number 1? Or do you think that we're going to be seeing just like one of these players kind of just change what they were doing and potentially just win heavily?
I think it can go either way. As much as it sounds like a cop-out answer, I mean, there's always other things at play here. You talk about the fact that if it's a Yoshi Joker starting again, I mean, the Joker had some moments, but also SD'd, I believe, in one of those moments. You talk about the fact that there was an SD on, I believe it was the Inkling as well, which could have turned the tides. There's so much to think about, and I'm I'm going to lean into favor that it's going to come down to the final game, and that to me is going to either signal going to a game 3 or game 2, and that's what I'm going to be watching more instead of just trying to read it outright at the start here.
Yeah, I'm totally thinking similarly to you, and I'm really looking forward to seeing, especially, I think the main person who I want to see in this next game is going to be the Incineroar, who was Gavin. I think they were one of the players who really could have taken it a little bit further, but unfortunately it was just due to that amount that they had to play, where it was kind of like they couldn't keep their stocks long enough. So I think if we get to see them again, I'm going to be happy, because that's a player who really did show some really good, promising gameplay. And if they can bring that back into this second set, that's definitely going to be favorable.
I would agree with that one. The Incineroar had a lot of chances, but again, it comes down to who steps up at the beginning. Once again, they did play pretty much in order that we were given. At least us as casters do have a little bit more privy knowledge, and they went in order. So to me, it might seem that you have very specific slots instead of trying to field the players in different positions and everything like that. So I like this idea. I like the fact that you called out Gavin. Hopefully Hobart have a little bit more ease of execution coming into this, making sure that Incineroar lands a lot of those lariats, make sure that they are able to get that type of freedom in the bank. So as we get underway for game, or I should say set number 2, I am curious to see what CPMS has put forward as their first.
Yeah, I imagine you'd want to keep it the same, because after watching game number 1, Orbital, I'm really assuming that they're going to want to keep like that same setup, because it kind of allowed their worst players to at least make sure they get one game, and their better players to kind of end it off. And I'm just imagining that based off the fact that Pikachu looked excessively just insane. Like, they were easily my favorite player of the day. And obviously the Pyramithra was putting up some great action as well. But we're going to be seeing Gavin start us off, then Liam, then Emmett, and then Alex is going to be oh no, sorry, I read that wrong. It's going to be Alex, but he's going to be switching characters. So Alex, who is going to be going to the Corbin off of switching through to the Pyramithra. So it makes sense. I believe that does... Okay, that's going to be changing from game 1. So this time we're not going to be seeing Liam start and Gavin go second. This time it's going to be switching the two. And Liam is going to be our Pyramithra player, while Gavin on the Incineroar. So now we're going to at least make sure we get to see Gavin play once, assuming Gavin doesn't take them all down. Like I was kind of saying, that might happen because they did look strong, but realistically, I don't think that's going to be very likely. Getting all 4.
Yeah, it's gonna be a it's gonna be a little bit of a nice little change. We are waiting to see if CPMS are also gonna be doing a roster change here. If they do, that'll be very important. But this is gonna be a chance and a half. So I'm very curious to see exactly where they decide to go with it, and if they are gonna change, because Gavin starting things off with that Incineroar could be a huge bloody battle. So they are gonna dive right in, and this is gonna be a test and a half.
Oh, yeah. All right. So we're going to be seeing the Incineroar versus the Yoshi. So that does mean that the side of CPMS is going to be switching with their, or taking their same setup as game number 1 here. Let's see whether or not they're going to be able to find some good value on it. Honestly, it's looking...
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
That's devastating. Yeah, that hurts. As soon as it starts, you lose a stock like that, and that immediately means to me that maybe their mental is a little bit shaken here. They were given a berth in the opening to try and make some magic happen and maybe try and get Hobart off to the right start, but right now the right start is really not feeling that great when you lose a stock such as that.
Oh, yes. Look at this. Oh, my gosh. The combos keeping side of CPMS or CPMS in the air, not giving them anything to work with, but they're finally going to be grounded, able to get themselves back into the match. And oh, a shot from the high ground, looking to keep it up, but the tail isn't going to be able to shoot him down just yet. And some counteracting plays coming in from the opponents of Hobart. And look at this. They're going to finally be able to take a lead against this Yoshi, despite being down a stock. Oh no, though. As soon as I say that, they make me eat my words.
I mean, again, the percentage for this Yoshi doesn't really matter that much. If you continue to be an annoyance like this, you're doing wonders already. And right now, the Incineroar, even though you're a heavy, you look like you're getting juggled like a balloon. It feels so simple. And yes, those butt slams have been working great. There's a Lariat. You still can't grab that Lariat. And that means that you are free pickings for this Yoshi. The Incineroar is struggling right now, but gets a great swing, finally finds a connection, and now you're stock even, but at 144%, this is a difficult spot to be in.
Oh, Gavin needing to get something here with 159%. It's not looking amazing from him, but right now, Clark, oh, look at that hit. Nathaniel taking the lead with one stock remaining. I mean, I don't even know. Gavin is definitely going to be in a rough spot. Backs up against the walls here. And, oh, sorry, that's not looking good whatsoever. Look at this, though. 25%, 26% is going to be keeping it up. And, you know, I'm really not looking like this is going to be good for Hobart because they're down a stock already. Obviously, that switch out for a later time. They're going to still be in play later on, but right now this Incineroar is going to have a great time taking this play and just kind of being completely destroyed for their teammates to later on kind of hopefully not let their loss be in vain.
I mean, right now, things are looking rough. 122 means a single good smash might take their life, and I love this chip that the Yoshi is trying to throw down. You want to reach about 130, 140, and then you can look for the raw smash attack. And I think that's what they're going to look for. Nice egg to bring it up to 138. A weight on the ground here as you go ahead and side dash. Very, very nice spot. Dodge, and then the butt slam to finish it off. And that is Nathan to go ahead, or Nathaniel, to maintain 2 stocks.
Oh my gosh. Nathaniel taking the lead here. CPMS smash. Okay, wow. They are certainly going to be the team to beat. With the stocks being 11-9 now, it's going to be up for this next player from Hobart to try and come back to make it 1-1 in the overall scores. But, I mean, who do we have next? Let me check this real quick. It's going to be Liam coming up next. So, that's a player who, honestly, I think they had some good potential, and I think they showed a lot, but unfortunately, compared to some of their other teammates, I don't really expect them to be that player to really come out of the gate swinging. This is the Joker, of course, so switching over to him. I guess they didn't want to go first or something like that, but right now I assume that they expected this Yoshi to be at least a little bit more in the dumps, maybe at 1 stock, maybe hopefully, ideally at 0, but instead they're going to be still only missing one of their own, and this is going to be up to Liam to try and bring it back.
For Liam, it's a tall task, but I'm sure that they can pull it off as we go ahead and get that stock reset. Yoshi falls on down, and now we get started with this game. Let's see how quickly they go, and immediately a good butt slam. It leaves about 28-30, and it's one of, I have to say, Nathaniel's most damaging moves so far. They've used it pretty, I want to say pretty freely. They haven't really been tested every time they do so, even though it has a fairly large gap in between, so I wonder if, as you said, Liam needs to make up time. Are you going to be able to use this Joker to really flesh it out? Remember, any stock that you lose here is pretty much a detriment for you and the rest of your team.
Oh, yeah, Liam, they do have their bar fully unleashed, but as of now, they just aren't able to make any miracle plays off of it. Instead, it's just going to be side of Liam getting kind of destroyed, not going to lie. Nathaniel, after playing a game 1 that looked so dominant, they're going to go into game number 2 with a exactly same appearance. I mean, after that first one, it looked kind of close, but oh, look at this, 142 already seen.
And it's not stopping. It is not stopping at all. I love what is happening. Did you just walk up slowly and forward smash? Yes, you did. Stock handed over to Nathaniel. Right now, Liam is just having some troubles right now.
Oh my gosh. Look at that. Liam, they're going to get eaten up. And Orbital, I'm really thinking that at 10-8, it's kind of just all over CPMS's faces that they are most likely going to be able to take this 2-0 unless somebody from Hobart Varsity is able to really create some kind of miracle.
I mean, I'm sitting here going, that miracle better come quickly. I'm not going to lie, but honestly, I could see it happening. Liam just trying to fight, but honestly, Nathaniel's putting on a show for the ages. Kind of had some rough starts back in the opening game 1 and said, hey, I want to do even better. So far, taking 4, has a chance to take 5 with the current stock percentage. And I love the shielding here. You're trying to bait inside of the center, use that butt slam again, which you use to high efficiency. And it just feels like Hobart don't really have an answer. Look at that again. You're breaking through on this small battlefield stage.
Yeah, unfortunately, Liam's had a tough time this series going about being able to really finish off their opponents. It's kind of been a detriment that hasn't really been fixed. But so far, they've been able to do some pretty good damage. It's just kind of being able to limit of their opponent. And Liam, they're going to be able to get something, but let's see if they can bring this forward. 120% is going to be found, but that's going to increase the bar to maximum. So let's see if they're going to be able to really find something now.
I can see it happening right now. All you need is one good smash, and it could all be over here with this stock. But of course, for Liam, you're trying to do, but another good grab. Spit out, toss up here, not going to land. Great recovery coming out of Liam right now. And with that arc send, you're hoping to get a little extra, but unfortunately it fades out, and now you're kind of stuck in this middle zone. There's a smash, good roll away, and both just chasing after each other. Little tags here and there, causing a little bit of miss out, but there's the butt slam. Unfortunately, it's not going to finish him off as you're at 155. That's another one, and you're at 168. It doesn't really have that much launch potential, so you got to get a smash in or something. And I think that's what Nathaniel's kind of hoping for as you just disrupt the attack pattern of this Joker. Yet another grab into the up air. Test for the ages, 179 and then some. You're waiting with bated breath, eyes on the side. Another grab and toss. Both just biding their time, it feels like. We are going down probably to the wire here as this is going to be a punch and a half. There goes the meter. Now we are running hard.
Oh, but look at this. Nathaniel with the Yoshi domination, a masterclass performance here, trying to keep themselves alive, but oh, standing right on top of it. It's going to be a comeback, and it's going to be Liam taking them down, making me eat my words, and Liam shutting it down Nathaniel before it gets out of hand. Bringing this back, it's going to be 8-9. Very close on the count.
I feel bad, but again, Nathaniel, I think, did exactly what you were hoping to do. You were able to get another stock off. You give your team a stock advantage moving into the next, which is huge, in my opinion. This is vastly different than starting off a game 1-3 or anything like that. This is a definitive stock lead for you and your team, and you're going to be able to make use of that, in my opinion. Now, granted, you wish that you could have gotten more. Of course, anyone wishes they would have gotten more in that situation, especially at what, 190 on the Joker? But I'm sure your team is going to be able to step up. We now have, I believe, Jackson on the Rob, which is going to do a lot of work against this Joker.
Oh yeah, Jackson's Rob versus Joker. You get a lot of chances to play farther back. This Joker really going to have to take as many times as they can get that bar filled up, and they have to put that to complete use, because as of now, 2-3, it's really not looking too good, but let's see if they can bring it back.
Well, for right now, this is again a test right in the middle, and I feel like the Rob we saw last time be able to kind of chunk out that last stock very quickly, but with how floaty they can be and how quickly we see Jackson just kind of float around, I am a little bit worried about this. Mainly because the Joker, not really worried about that, and we saw what Liam can do on high percentage as well. So my eyes are really tuned into the fact that you got to play smart and you got to play very, very comfortably and maybe a little bit over aggressive to really force this Joker into a bad position. Because Liam will stay alive for a very long time if you don't have a launch attack.
Yeah, Liam's been really proving to us time and time again that they have been the player that can keep themselves alive no matter the cost. Jackson, on the other hand, they're doing a similar situation, but as of now, they haven't been able to find a way in, unfortunately. Able to get back on top, but Jackson, they still going to be able to get a really good hit in there. Unfortunately, it's just not enough to secure the stock. 100% is going to be found on Liam, but as we know, they're capable of tanking a lot more than that.
Right now, it is all the way at the end, but finally a great smash is going to take it. And you are so happy about that one. And now you're just waiting out that shield timer, and you get a good spin. Great start to the stock. You're at 171, but you can play a little bit longer with this angle. If you can push Liam to the absolute brink with the stock and then finish it off, and you lead in to the next with a 2, it might be there, but a nice little punch on the back end might be a risk that you're willing to take. 40% and counting. But you immediately get eaten up here. No big launch though, about 198, 200 can do so much more than you're not excited for. There is a launch, still you're alive because Rob is so dang heavy, and that's a spinner to come out here. Liam just says, please lose the stock. Please give me this stock. I've worked so hard for it.
Oh, and that's going to be it. Liam able to secure that second stock to the side of CPMS. I mean, they're going to be evened up now. Actually, no, it's going to be Hobart with one less stock than their opponent. But at this point, with 72% being found, it seems as if Hobart shouldn't be able to keep up this lead. But let's see if they can do it. Obviously, Liam, it's a player who's been super tanky. But, oh, triple digits being reached. But, okay, there's going to be that winged creature, the Shikigami, coming online. Let's see if they can find anything, and oh no, yep, they're comboed into oblivion, but not for long. It's still gonna be this Rob able to hang on to the ledge, but some good stuff coming out from Liam, able to get it back and get this little bit of damage online, not gonna give up anything, and some good gameplay from both players here. But I think right now Liam's just kind of been showing everything they need.
I mean, a great turnaround right now, but the quick pile driver into the up smash will finish it off. He just had to expend 2 stocks for it. So it will be Jackson to maintain an advantage over Hobart right now as CPMS continue their climb towards victory.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. And it's looking really strong from this CPMS side. They've taken the advantage. They're up 7-6. This Rob's going to be forcing the Joker of Liam to be kind of relegated to a potential game number 3, but as of now, it could end in only one more series. But I mean, I don't know. I think that Hobart, with the Pikachu still online, I don't. It's really gonna be whether the last couple players are going to be able to make that mark and find the win.
I think for me, I'm just sitting here going, you know, yeah, the Pirate Mithra and you have, I believe the Inkling are both left. And Inkling to me was a little bit suspect. At the same time, it's the next one out. And then as we mentioned before, Alex is going to be running that Corrin instead. So another sword character to come out here, but the Inkling had one of the best results, I think, on Hobart's side. Very fast paced, very much able to kind of contend with the others out there. So we'll see if it does play out well here, and if it does catch on. If it does, that's great. But at the current moment, if you lose a single stock on the Inkling, it feels really bad, at least against the Rob here.
Yeah, if you can take this Rob down, once you start losing stocks after that, you're going to be like, okay, yeah, I'm losing stocks, but that's okay. Right now, though, you lose stocks, you're going to be so upset at yourself. And honestly, I think that we're not going to be seeing a lot of stocks lost. 122% already found out. Bomb's going to be able to actually get mitigated, so that's definitely some good tech there from this Rob. But, oh, they're in the dirt. They're down, and that's going to be it. We're going to the next game, 6-6. It's going to be Hobart to even it up with 3 players remaining, or 2 players remaining for each side. 3 stocks remaining for each side. That's what I meant to say. And I mean, Orbital. Yeah, I'm still scared. I think Hobart, they have to find a way to mitigate that Pikachu and kind of dissolve any damage they can put into play. So right now, they definitely have to find some kind of just kind of way to get around that, and once they do, we're going to be out of the woods if we're Hobart University or Hobart Varsity.
Yeah, I mean, they're sitting there going, okay, how are we going to play this? But here's the good part about what's going to go down here right now. Inkling or Emmet is actually running into the exact same opponent that they fought last time, which was Dylan on the Pyramithra, and they were able to take that one with one stock left alive. So if any matchup is there to give Hobart a little bit of a leg up, this is going to be it. You are going to sit there and go, okay, we have a chance to repeat history a little bit and bring back an advantage for ourselves. I want to give a lot of credit over towards Nathaniel on the Yoshi. Was able to get a 2-stock lead at the beginning, but since then the team has kind of fallen off to the wayside a little bit, so that's what scares me. Once again, Dylan is coming out here, Pyramithra against the Inkling, and last time this happened, CPMS fell short.
Oh, all right. We get to see the Pyramithra come back once more. Early damage going to be able to found, but not going to be able to spray any ink just yet. Getting that extra damage is what kind of allowed them to get the rob down early on. But right now, it seems like this Pyramithra has a completely different style of play and is able to get that early damage. Switching over to the fire form. Going to be switching back immediately, though, making me a little bit on my seat for what their plans are going to end up being. But 77% found in Orbital. I think that they might be able to win this without even pulling out the Pikachu, potentially.
I mean, that early, we say that, but never count an Inkling out. Yes, the early damage is there, but we've seen both teams struggle to find closings on stocks before. So even at 110, it's not the end of the world, and this is where you actually get a little bit overzealous, you know, over aggressive, and you can actually let yourself get caught out very, very heavily. And we're kind of seeing it here already painted up to about 60, now 87%, and now you're matched just as quickly as the Inkling went up. As you talked about, that paint brings extra damage. The percentage does so well, and all of a sudden, we take a look at the likes of Dylan and go, man, what is going on? Huge turnaround coming out for the side of Emmett.
Oh, wow. Wow, okay, yeah, alright, you might have been right there, because look at this. It's going to be CPMH or CPMS to kind of be just completely falling down, Fire Stick to get the damage, and no ink remaining, forcing themselves onto the high ground, going into Squid Farm, but it's still going to be an even stock line of 5-5. Looking to go for some aggression here, engaging early on, looking to even out this percentage, but right now it doesn't seem like either player wants this evened out.
Nope, and it's only going to continue as right now you can feel both of the players actually getting fairly hungry. You can almost see them actively moving forward and just saying, okay, we've really got to find some exits on these stocks. And you're going to go high and look for the finish, and you almost get it. Very nicely done, but again, got to protect your edge, got to protect the flank, and unfortunately you go off the ledge yet again. Disaster strikes for Dylan, and you went a little bit too hard there, and now you go ahead and finish off the stock back, so it is traded out neatly, but you're down to 1-1.
Oh, look at this. Final stocks for both players. It's going to be the bomb coming out immediately, not going to be able to connect. Instead, going in aggressively, brawling it out, looking to get scrappy with it. Bomb comes out, able to replenish some ink, completely covered in that purple goo, but it's not going to matter. It's still going to be both squads fighting it out, looking to be that one to go up against that final remaining player of each school.
And honestly, right now, you're really just hoping to try and use this Mithra as much as possible, but it's not going to work, as again, the paint, you're only about half, and rolling it out, using it very frequently. I'm not sure you're going to enjoy that one. Again, another up E, just trying to slice through, and then you try and spiral into the fire. But is it going to work? You want to get a smash here, but both are sitting about 91 to 94, both chasing. That's a huge smash, but you send it towards the far side. Up air, gonna do some more work, and a quick chase down, but what a crash down, as that is huge from Dylan, as that is CPMS to hang on to 4 total.
Dylan able to put in the work. It's going to be Emmett, found out, destroyed, forcing Alex, and it's exactly what we kind of imagined at the start, where we're going to be seeing that Pyro Mithra matchup coming out in this second set of matches. Now this is going to be that quarterfinal, so this is exactly where you gotta find the win. An Orbital, I mean CPMS, they want to make sure they do not get upset win against that number 5 seed.
I'm just overall highly impressed. These shakeups, these changes have run their course, and now you get to see the Quarren coming out here. So this could be the make or break moment for the entirety of the Hobart varsity SSBU middle school team. They're sitting here going, as you said, we don't want to lose out here. We want to try and fight. We want to try and push for that game 3. But is it really going to work? Is that set 3 going to come about? Because with the Quarren, we haven't seen it yet, and it better be better than the Pirate Mythic that you had before. Else this Pikachu is going to have an amazing time.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Shield's instantly going to be utilized, and there's going to be the stock off the board. One more to go. One stock. One life against 3. And at this point, it's going to be up to Alex to close out early on. Force those final 2 players to be finding that last match. But Hobart, this is one player who has to find 4 stocks. This is going to be extremely difficult. And right now, they're kind of just maneuvering themselves across the map, but instantly getting a little bit of damage burned onto them. And okay, there's going to finally be the punchback, but maybe you need a little bit more. That's all I'm going to say.
And I feel like if you play Pirate Mythra, you played against a lot of other sword characters before. All sword characters tend to have a fairly, I don't want to say rigid moveset, but it feels very comfortable. Like they have a lot of stock moves like that one. They have a lot of openers, and it makes sense. Oh my gosh, I think Dylan just got saved there. Dylan, I think, was headed off the edge, and the hit coming out from Alex there saved him from losing out on that stock. So now given another chance, as that's going to be on the edge that you're playing for. Out comes the Pirate to try and finish this off, and it looks like you are going to get that big damage crash down, not landing. But it's enough. 118 is huge. Maybe you look for it again, but a nice plunge up, and that's going to be an attempt at a counter. But the counter ain't going to work. Both just waiting, and you can almost feel Alex going, yo, you really want that one, but that's a stock. What a catch. Yet again, Dylan fighting the crash down, immediately swaps back to the Mythra.
Hobart backs against the wall. It's going to be up to Alex, and with the start we've seen, something needs to change. Alex, they've been able to kind of mitigate some damage earlier, but right kind of compete when it comes to this Pirate Mythra is just agility throughout this match. They've been so proactive when it comes to finding these hits in the air, and this is the type of things you need to look out for in a player, and they're going to keep on doing it. Unfortunately, when it comes down to it, Alex, they've chosen a character that really allows them to play from a distance and find that early poking damage. So I think that if they can keep on doing that and take advantage of these hits like we see just now, that might be something good.
Right now at 50%, it's already a pretty good round to say, hey, maybe I can get another stock. You've done your job. I mean, Dylan, we applaud and respect everything that you've done here. And really, it's on this Quarren player, Alex, just trying to fight back as hard as possible. But it's getting difficult. You're going for big, lengthy moves, and I'm not sure that's what you really want to go for. Another crash down, not landing. And I love this aggressive tactic of just like, I'm going to get the stock one way or another. I am going to go all out with these aggressive moves, and you can block them or hold off against them. You take your pick. That's another crash down, not landing, looking the wrong way. And now you're going to try and sweep it once again, but the blade goes out. A nice spinner. Leaves a lot left in the tank. 116, though. Another counter to come out, but both swing, both at each other's backs. And we're just waiting to see how well this times out. Yet another, as this is Dylan pretty much playing keep away. And all of a sudden they take yet another. Alex is on their last.
Oh no, Alex. It's been absolutely dominant. And right now, Dylan has just been showing everything you could possibly ask for. They've been the player, they've been the playmaker, and it's up to Dylan with 133% on the table. They need to do something, but it's going to be a kick to the back to shut Dylan down. Alex barely going to be able to scrape away a win here, which honestly, I don't know about you, Orbital, but I'm thinking that might be a little bit too late.
It really will be. If I take a look at things, and I mean, we mentioned how Matthew was able to close things out. I feel like CPMS really stepped up after their first set win. They said, hey, we want to win. We want to be able to take this comfortably. And Dylan said, okay, let me show you what I got. You ran 5 stocks. I want to really point that out. Dylan took the most stocks single-handedly that we have seen all series long. Huge respect there. And Hobart, I have to say what I need to say. the Corrin does not look great, unfortunately. I like the idea of swapping out, though. The idea of getting a character swap in there and saying, hey, this is how we're going to mix it up. This is how we're going to change things up, and maybe that gives us an advantage. It didn't work out this time. However, I highly like the idea of finding out if something else is going to work in a series such as this. But at the current moment, you're going into this 3-1 Pikachu coming up against the Corrin. And I think that's going to be a huge, huge task for the Corrin, as it's just one stock away.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm thinking you're really going to have to find some kind of miracle play. And I don't think Corrin is the worst idea into something like a Pikachu, but it's not going to be a cakewalk. So realistically, I don't know about you, but I just think something's going to have to change. And because that last game, as you saw, as I saw, it was not what you want to be looking at if you're this Corrin. You barely were able to take down that Pyramithra, who I believe, correct me if I'm wrong here, but started out on that game at 2 stocks.
Yep, I mean, they tried their hardest, and now it's going to be another problem. Nice little chase, though, as this is going to be that speed test right now. The Pikachu loves it, but a nice counter to come out. This is something that we didn't really see used all that much with Pyramithra. The counters can actually do a lot of work if you can count it properly and make sure to get those good stabs in. It can turn the table, as we're seeing here. 66 versus 71 right now. But, of course, you leave yourself wide open to a grab, and the Pikachu is absolutely going to take advantage of that one. 96 and counting to play through 3 different stocks, and unfortunately, that's going to be it. That will be the game, as CPMS will be moving on from the quarterfinals.
Oh my gosh, CPMS dominantly taking that game number 2. Obviously, as remember, there was some really good gameplay from Hobart in game number 1 where they brought it to 1 CPMS. But this time it was it was still pretty close. I'm going to be totally honest. Obviously, all 4 players got their shot to try it, I believe. But sorry. I'm tripping out here, but yeah, Hobart Varsity, unfortunately, they were not able to take down that number 4 seed of CPMS, so they're going to be going on to fight against that number 1 seed coming in against them in the playoffs semifinals. It's going to be BHMS versus CPMS, so make sure you stay tuned for that, because that is going to be a massive match.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and honestly, huge shout out to the entirety. I mean, you have to give credit where credit is due. Watching a lot of these plays back, these middle schoolers have a lot of talent, and yes, there are mistakes here and there, but they are able to fight back to a very large degree, and I can't wait to see them try and chase out even further, maybe even into the high school or even collegiate scene, which I've been in for quite some time, and I love it. Watching some of these kids rise up to the challenge. Of course, to get started on their journey, there is League OS Portal, LOS Portal. Of course, if you are interested in getting to play esports in college, there are now hundreds of collegiate esports programs, and honestly, you need a way to search through, which is what League OS Portal does. Just go to portal.leagueos.gg to search, and IEN students can also sign in to manage their own prospect profiles, where all of their stats automatically update match over match. There are scholarships out there for players, as well as shoutcasters, social media managers, and more. So make sure that you add all of your talents to your profile. Verified college esports coaches are searching LOS Portal now for promising prospects and reaching out to the ones that they like. So if you're a high schooler and want to get in on this, go ahead, as LOS Portal is free for students. Don't miss your chance to get discovered. Visit portal.leagueos.gg today and take your game to the next level, such as we saw here today. Again, 5 stocks, by the way. I love the fact that we are here on Dylan, taking multiple along their route, and then the big finisher at the end. Honestly, Sherry, I mean, what was your favorite moment of the series?
I mean, I really watching that Pikachu play during the end of this first series, because it was just such good gameplay. Obviously, the second series looked good as well, but right now, I think that I'm definitely seeing them on track to win, because they look really good. The CPMS squad, they're looking really, really strong, and I think they can continue what they did today. I wouldn't be surprised if they can upset that number 1 seed in the semifinals and move on to go to the finals later on.
It was one that I can't wait to see even more of as we continue through the middle school side of the SSBU bracket. Make sure to check out all more action across the social medias as well to keep up on what the Indiana Esports Network will be bringing you next. Of course, that'll be it for us here today. My name is Orbital. With me has been Sherry J. We got Connie and Taylor on the production side. And once again, a big shout out to Zotac as well as Landfest and LOS Portal. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you all next time.